Okay, good evening, folks. Welcome to TFC Open Mic, episode 36. It's the Hellborn mid-raid reflection and rant. Okay, good evening, guys. Welcome, everybody.
Evening. How's everybody doing?
So it's good. We've got a reasonably full panel tonight, looks of it. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Hey,
5,
good evening.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hi there. How you doing? So we've got mostly
Full house.
It's a full house tonight, which is unusual on a raid night, unless everyone's finished.
I'm just taking a break from it for a little while.
And you got to remember, George. George counts as half a man.
George is half a man.
Yeah, Friday nights he likes to cross-dress.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
What?
I don't know.
Oh, that came out of left field.
Done with my raid.
You're done with yours, are you, mate? Oh, that's good.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we're 2/3 way through. Well, in fact, just over half. We're probably about 2/5 of the way through, to be honest. So, has anybody noticed anything, improvements or deficiencies? Or sorry, George has just timed out pro already in the chat. It's like a weekly joke now.
Yeah, it is.
It's just fun for it. And hi, guys in the chat. Just say hello. So, yeah, just a quick check then. So, ats and debts, better or worse? Getting used to it. It's just getting easier. It's costing less. What do you think, guys? Over to you.
Because they kept this raid format exactly the same, I feel, as the last raid, except for the addition of the 74 blitz target, you can use the same mechanics and things that you did the last raid, and your practice from the last raid carries over, which I think is important if they're going to have these 4-month cycles be like that. I know for this one they change it between the first and second month, but George's video, go watch it. Have you watched it? Watch it again.
And watch the one hell race.
Yeah, I got a one hell earth one up now too. I'm actually kind of glad that they didn't change it. To the point where I'm sure something got changed. I don't know what, but again, they were also trying to introduce the Tide Seeker, so they didn't want to change too much, which benefited anybody that had hell race, because now you had practice from last month, and then you get to do it again this month. I mean, I found it much easier this time. I think I have had lag problems again, and it didn't start until Friday evening. So I don't know if that's something, servers got stressed or whatnot, but I ended up blowing 4 coin because I jumped in a couple targets and slow repaired and then kind of finished it off so I could do some targets. But I'm finding it great. I mean, it's you just kind of get right back in the groove from last month if you'd gotten used to it last month. So good job on Kickstar's part. I hope they keep this for next month so we can get done with it and wash our hands of it and go into January.
I agree.
All I gotta say is thank God for the.
For the what?
Yeah, man.
For
sentence.
For the Tide Seeker, because that's the only thing I've been pretty much using. I did 15 million with my subs, and then I switched over the Tide Seeker after I did a refit on it, and I've done probably another 35 or so million with just my Tide Seeker, and it's just one ship.
Auto and what? B sets?
B set targets.
Oh, very good. That's very good. That's good. Anybody that's already gotten the Tide Seeker out, there you go. That's how to do it.
I've seen Andrew doing the same thing. He said about the same thing. B sets for him, and my brother as well. He's been doing B sets on auto while he's been at work and battle piracy. I know, and he's done quite reasonably well as well with a 1 or 2 Tide Seekers. So he's content.
Hey, I just logged out of work 5 seconds before this was going on air.
The 2 that I had built are doing fantastic. I did like 90 million points Thursday evening, and I mean they were amazing on auto at work.
Yeah, I like the Tide Seeker. I took it out. I did auto with 3 of them in the Harlock Tide Seeker, just a shell in the A set, and I was getting repairs similar to what I got in the preview server. So right around 6 to 9 coin for an A set. So it wasn't too bad.
No, that's how many did you have in there?
I had 3 fully built, only 2 with 51% rank, and the other one not ranked. And then my Harlock Tide Seeker is a shell with just 1 weapon in the engine.
So you essentially had
That's it.
2 fully built but not ranked, and then 1 that wasn't ranked at all and fully built. That's still not that
Correct.
bad. I mean, you know, it'll get much better when it's at rank.
Yeah, I can't wait to get the set done. And I really think that I was looking at the Calamity build you sent over to me, George, and I really like that. I think that might be a better way to go.
Interesting, isn't it? I just
Yeah,
want
it's
to
very
see it, test
interesting.
it. I you know.
Yeah, I've sort of run out of coins because I was going to build a Calamity Tide, and I was like, well, that'd be quite good fun, that sort of stuff. And I looked at the time of year, and then I looked at my coins and went, nah,
Yep.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Do it. So I mean, I had to, you know, I've had other people test a bunch of Tide builds and stuff. I mean, Ren, I don't know how much Ren spent to test all those Tide Seeker builds he did for that video, and I mean, you know, it helps community knowledge. I wish I had the coin to do it because I'd have it, and I'd have a video out tomorrow. But so I'm begging people to build it and test it for me, make a video for us.
I think several of us have been saying the same thing.
If everyone can wait a month, I'll have 4 Calamity Tide Seekers out for the raid, full scald and everything, ready to go.
Yeah, it doesn't help me in a month.
Yeah. I'll see what I can do, George. I got to look at my account and bank statement here and see what I can do. I kind of put a little bit out. Maybe I can get something
one
tomorrow.
You can get us a video, and you can have something to write on the blog.
Yeah.
Works great.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
It's just coming to that time of year where money gets serious. So you know.
Tight.
Oh yes.
Hey, Emery, is Emery's mic working again?
Yes, it is working.
Yeah, he's back on.
How many did you steal this time?
Actually, I didn't even try. Kickside fixed hacking for me, and I can actually drive now.
Hey, good.
Damn, look at that.
I know this Kickside never does anything right.
It's faster to get points when you can actually drive your subs.
I've got it personally.
Fleet wasn't helping.
Yeah, I got my 105 hits down to just under 5 minutes now.
And
Really?
like
Oh,
within 2 hours after raid start, I've seen at least 2 of the new Tide Seekers, so it's not very wise to play around with subs.
So I slightly changed the route, George, as well, mate. You know there's 2 big Hulk ships, isn't there? Yeah. So I'm spinning up first and then tapping the back of the first one, and then going round. I'm still managing to get round in front of the 2 lead ships as well, and take out the front one round the right hand side. So I managed to get them both gone.
You mean all 3 of them?
Yeah, I managed to get them all out the way, which is quite decent.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Make a vid, man. Make a video and post it up so we can see another way.
Yeah,
to
I'd
do
like
it.
to see that.
Yeah, so it's working quite nice, I must admit. It's a little more fine tuning, but the things are stacking really well at the moment. So I've tried it, and it makes a heck of a difference. Knocks a couple of minutes off your time. So
yeah, I was talking with Bort yesterday, I think, and he was getting them under, I think, just under 6 minutes. It was like 5 minutes, like 30, but he was just skipping the priority targets just for the speed.
all right.
And I was like, nah, I'm not giving up 600,000 points. You know,
Yeah, because when you do like 15 of them, that's a heck of a lot of points, isn't it? So
yeah. But if you can do it,
Aren't
if you
they,
can do a tap in the
300K?
back. There's 3 of them in the front, yeah. But if you can get all 3 of them after tapping the back, I mean, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, it definitely can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. Yeah,
I'll do
definitely
that.
like to see that.
I'll do
Anything
one.
to help speed up the process. I posted George's video for the perfect 105 run to the Alliance because a couple guys were having a really hard time understanding what I was talking about as far as driving up that right hand side to get up in front, and they were taking a lot of damage and they didn't understand that what I was trying to say there. So I showed them the video. And it turned around probably 3 of them, and they started making some headway on the raid, and they were very happy with that. So
good. I mean, I had a bunch of people ask me to post up the real time ones too, and I did. I have both the 4 Hellwraith build, the 4 of them hitting and the single one hitting in real time. I just haven't really I haven't shared that link that much, but a couple people have written me and said that actually helped more, because they could actually see how many times I was clicking and doing this and doing that. And I was like, well, I mean, I understand. And, I put them up. I put them up so people could see it, but it doesn't make for a good video. You know what I mean? Because they're long, they're boring. I mean, unless you're actually needing the actual thing, I generally don't post those unless someone asks. But if they want, I mean, hell, man, y'all can share all that crap. I don't care. That's great.
Yeah.
I mentioned it in the middle of the week as well, and when I posted up the 105 that I was doing right at the start on the when I did the stream at the start of the raid there. So just some top tips for people just to reduce your lag. Obviously, a wired mouse is everything. Try if you're on a PC to make sure you're wired, hardwired through a LAN cable and not through wireless. Clearly, make sure you clear your obviously your cache and that sort of stuff. And then if you are running anything else in the background, like especially if you're on twin screen, that sort of stuff, and anything else, like if you're watching some sort of media or streaming something else, it might pay to turn it off and that sort of stuff. In general, though, people I think are stacking quite reasonably. Definitely the forums, which is normally the best place for going laugh at people ranting, is quite quiet, I think. So in general terms, I think it's better. I did notice one thing: do not run your grease monkey with your submarines out on the water. Leave it in your dock, because obviously as soon as you take any flak at all, you'll never be able to stack those again until you fix them. A couple people are having that problem as well, because obviously it's a bit like the Marauders, it's a bit like all the things. As soon as one gets more damage than the rest of them, it'll always go faster. So that's it. Until you fix that ship, you will not be able to stack.
Yep, that's part of the whole thing on the.
Not so bad on Apollos, definitely bad on submarines.
Yes,
it's real bad on the Hellwraith.
Especially since the Hellwraith already has its own little damage speed boost thing.
Yeah, and they have to sit out the back, obviously, and wait for that to disappear, the overload effect, which is the typical sort of like Reaver thing. But
yeah, and even then though, if you overload, I've had some serious problems sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes with them not driving the same speed after one's overloaded.
Another thing I've noticed people doing that will save them some coin in the end on a raid, to just sounds like common sense, but to think about, if you hit a target and you get an hour and 15 minutes damage and your fleet's at 3/4 health, you can hit another target and your repair time, that extra 15 minutes doesn't cost you the coin. You can do the next target, and that saves you a coin per set, or per 2 targets, and that adds up when these little guys are grinding out. I've noticed a lot of them repairing with 12, 15 minutes damage.
Yeah,
you really got to look at that. Don't just say I'll finish a target, press fix, because that's a bit daft. So long as the thing's not dead, then I just crack on. If you've got 4 that are crewed up and that sort of stuff and all skilled, you can still finish off a target with 3. You can finish a target off with 2.
I actually the Hellwraith build that I use is actually designed because it was designed for the very first raid that we did in this set, and they were telling us we were going to die. You're going to die. It's going to take two fleets, this and that. I actually built it so it was exactly 3 coins with the grease monkey, 6 coins without. It just comes in just barely under that, and it was designed that way. So if all 4 of them are dead, it would take 3 or 6 coins to repair it fully during the raid.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's just something that when you build it, it's something to take into consideration sometimes.
Yeah, it's very important, for me especially, to do that. When I'm building my fleets, I always try to plan for a set amount of coin for the target I'm doing. It's just something I've done, since I began coining, probably about 2 years ago. You just don't have all the money in the world, so you got to make the most of it.
But I mean, what's good? With the 3rd set in of this one here, people generally have got the gist of it now, so we're good, and we're ready for obviously next month's the whole raid and that sort of stuff. So the 4th one of the cycle comes up next month, and then we can start playing. The only thing I think is a bit concerning is we don't know whether the next raid cycle, whether the new hull will be coming next month in preparation like we've been having. We can sort of assume it's going to, or the fact that it's sieged. We all know that siege should be coming next. Whether it's a case of we're going to start utilizing punishers, and obviously that Visago's punisher that we had as well. So that's a bit of a heads up I'd like to find out, and I'm sure Ren will probably do a bit of digging on that on our behalf, sort of stuff. So the sooner we can get to find out that detail, because people may need to do slight refits. From obviously doing the FM targets or the old style ones, because obviously we might have a different type of a target coming to us that may not be the same damage stuff that we have been used to in the FM.
Well, and like we were discussing before the show, like I was saying, I've refitted a lot of the Punishers that I had to do other duties now. So I'm kind of stuck unless we find out, hey, we're going to definitely get this hull next month. If we're not, I'm going to have to decide: do I build Visago's Punisher? Do I build some Centurions? I mean, I got to build something because I will not have anything for January if they don't give it to us in December. So last time the Siege one took a full fleet too, so you're not really going to get a full fleet in from one raid to the next. So I'm a little concerned personally, and my plan was actually to either build a VPun or some Centurions just in case.
Well, if we take a look at the current siege targets that we have, and the Drac mines and the mining bases, they have ballistic and radiation damage, correct?
Yeah, that's what siege should be. Yeah.
So Centurions will probably be the best bet. If you got Centurions, I think I'd rather have that set.
On paper, the Centurions would win, but the thing is, the VPun has better resistances, and it also does like triple the damage or quadruple the damage. I got some absolutely stupid damage numbers on a couple of builds that I did on the VPun, and it would probably replace almost an entire fleet of Centurions, or to come pretty damn close. So I'm really torn because I can either do one, and have it ready for January and hope that I get the new hull and have those ready for February if we don't get it in December. But it's a huge investment because it is like a 30-something day build. So it's a massive investment. Whereas, the Centurion is still going to take, I think it's going to be like 40 days, 45 days to build, 3 or 4 of them. So, I'm getting very antsy not knowing what the plan is. Are we going to see something in December or are we going to see it in January? I mean, because the damage type we kind of already know. It's going to be ballistic and it's going to be radioactive. There's going to be splash. I mean, that's one of the things the Centurion has going for it. So I don't think they're going to change that. So I'm not sure. I'm antsy because I feel like I'm unprepared this time.
Yeah, but I think that's because we've lost, haven't we? We've lost the look forward sort of stuff. The look what's coming next month sort of stuff. The
work in progress.
Yeah, and that's the impact when it comes to the next raid cycles, isn't it? So
rip whip.
That's when it affects us most, I think, to be honest.
Well, I went ahead and knocked the biggest chunk of it out. I built a bear hull and put one weapon and an engine on it, and just because I kind of figured there's got to be some use for the damn thing in the future.
Yeah, me too. That's what I've done. I've left it at that at the moment. I've ranked it, so it's skulled, and basically I put a weapon on it and an engine, and I've just left it in the corner of my dock now, and just waiting for it to come good.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't the Visago's Punisher also have a defensive buff field for any other Punishers in the fleet with it?
Pretty sure you're right.
Yeah, so get a 50% ballistic and 50% radiation.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Which would be perfect.
And that's the reason that we all speculated in the beginning that it was going to be for the continuation of the DUBs. Is that's where the damage lies.
Yeah, I've actually got a fleet that I custom built for the continuation of the DUBs that has 99% ballistic resistance, just sitting there waiting.
Yeah, I don't have the Visago's Punisher, but what I did, I had some downtime recently. I took the old style fleet that I had for doing dubs and I refitted it. I put some R armors on, and I think I made it the CL armor.
Yeah.
That one. So they're not really fully optimized. I don't think they're supposed to be. I think that Centurions without the Visago's Punisher is going to do better than Punishers without Visago's Punisher. But if you put in Visago's, then your Punishers are going to be ahead of the game. And the Visago's, it really should make it easy to do the siege raid cycle, because you paid 50 million points in a whole raid where they kicked the S raid in the teeth. Basically, well, the S raid kicked us in the teeth. And so it was a lot harder to get that many points. And it's a really long build, so there should be a very large payoff for those who decided to put that in. So VPun and Pun should do just fine. I'm going to have Omega and Puns, but even Omega and Sense, Omega and Puns, those should do fine as well. And hopefully you won't be completely caught because you've got tokens from the FM, you got tokens from Raid, and sometimes you might have to prioritize what's coming up in the future over what you've got building now or what you want to build. Like, yeah, I want to build a Harlock's Tideseeker, but if I didn't have a fleet ready for something coming in 2 months, you bet I would get that fleet ready for 2 months from now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the priority in this game is get your FM fleet sorted first, and then get your raid fleet sorted second. Everything else is just extra, trimmings, isn't it?
This sounds so. But it's one of the. I want to stress that. I want to stress what Mark just said so much because I don't know how many times I say this, like week in and week out. Always build for your FM first. That is always your priority in this game. Right now, currently the way that it is set up, do your FM first. Build for that first. Worry about everything else after.
And I'm seeing a lot of posts in the forums about people like, oh, my tech level can't do this and my tech level can't do that. I don't have the best tech. And there's a couple of things with this raid cycle that kind of say, well, you probably shouldn't. You should probably stop. The first is because the thermal range is 87 or 86 or whatever. It's really, really close to ours. You know how raids can do a 105 for free, hopefully. If not, watch the video. You only need one, turns out. Tiger Sharks can do it for free. It's the same general idea, but the mechanics and the driving pattern are different. I don't have it figured out. Go figure it out yourself instead of complaining in Target chat, whichever chat. But also, a lot of people get up and can't do it. And I've had to write off raids as losses because I just don't have the tech. Usually it's the first one in the cycle, or I had no idea what was going on, or I didn't have a build or this or that when I was first starting out. And sometimes you just gotta just write off your losses and don't worry about it and work on what you have now and try to get it better instead of just trying to go out and spending all your time just going nuts on the raid. You sit back, you do something else, hopefully your FM, hopefully your raids, because if you get good at the FM, you can get the tech to make your raid fleet better for next month. And that's why you do FM. And now there's tokens in the raid. So just take it easy and you'll get them next time. You'll get that hole in the hull raid. It's going to be okay. Just go do something else.
And obviously check down through the list of campaigns as well, because there's some tech that's still available in there that's definitely worthwhile.
Last raid cycle, I could not do it at the very beginning. I had never made a Rhino fleet, so I had to skip pretty much Apollos the first time, trying to work on my FM fleet because we were going to have that change. I decided rather than doing that, I skipped pretty much all the raids all the way up to the Vanquisher to work on my FM fleets, make sure I could get that done, and got the Vanquisher just for the simple fact it was necessary tech. I knew I wasn't going to do well in the hull raid without help, but it was the stuff that you need to progress by yourself.
And something else that just blows my mind is players will throw money at a raid consistently, but they won't throw a fourth of that money toward that fleet that could make the raid, a quarter as expensive.
No, I agree with you, mate. Exactly that. Yeah, no, it does. But you know what? I think this month, I think compared to last month, I'm going to be really interested to see what the numbers of that have played. I'm sure Ren will probably do the same as he did last time, where he'll put out a troll for people to say, where are you, how many points you got, and where are you in the raid position wise and points wise, and he can do a sliding scale again, and we'll get raid numbers again. But I got a funny feeling the numbers are going to be up because the Tideseekers made a big difference. I think I've seen a lot of low-level players in my sector that are now able to do it, because basically, as long as you get to round 1 or possibly 2, obviously in that TLC, you've definitely got enough tokens there that you could even slow build one. I've seen people out there autoing C sets as well with at least one Tideseeker that seem to have reasonable reloads. So people are definitely partaking in greater numbers, I think, this time than they did last time.
Do you care if I step in on that real quick?
Yeah, go on.
I did to pack 2. I pretty much got my ass reamed in pack 3 on number 7
Excuse me.
But what I did was I used the tokens to pretty much insta build a Tideseeker with reciprocators, and that's about 30-40%, and went into the raid, and just sitting there playing around with it. In the beginning, I've got 50 million, and 35 of a million was that Tideseeker for no coin, letting it repair. And I've even tested, if you use demo crews, you can do 4 B sets, salties 3.5, or steelheads. If you're like on it, you're getting like 2 sets of that crew, just sitting there going through it.
That's good.
I've got one guy in my line that has ground out the 30s, and he's doing great in the raid. He's up to like 15 million and hadn't asked for help, but he's all instant repair.
That's good. For 15 million points. Wow, that's a lot of sets. What level's he, mate?
He's like a level 55, maybe.
All right, that's good. That's a good number. Yeah.
He's got full points.
Yeah, that's dedication.
And that's how it used to be.
Grind it and get your points. That's how. Yeah, I mean,
and I'm all for that. Absolutely.
Yes, maybe a step back onto the path to greatness. You know, where you can actually grind targets if you need to.
Yeah. No, I definitely think that that was what was missing. Yeah, the priority target being submarine can get you there. You can chase through it, and the other option is not just step down a target, but using and it was a huge mistake. I think just go solo subs and nothing else could do it. I think this Tideseeker has made a huge difference, and obviously, we can go on to it in a minute. But obviously, with the dedicated obviously lead hole that's just come out, and obviously as the additional prize in the unlocked store, which is nice to see it there. We're going to have some fun in the coming months, aren't we?
I think so. I think there's going to be a lot of still.
I think it's going to bring back a lot of team play in the game.
I see it's a double win. I mean, A, people have now been able to get back into raiding and that sort of stuff. B, they've got an FVF fleet, good old, not even just PvE, proper FVA fleets there. All those people that have been hiding behind, partly or 99% killed subs or just subs out there, and you go and hit their base and they just spend the whole week then in a bubble and they just go and hit you with a set of subs. Those days are gone. So and but it's fine because everyone's virtually has got some Tideseekers. They should have, because there's virtually nothing that couldn't do level 1 as long as you had the Rhino, and if you haven't played for ages, you got that free anyway. So most individuals should be able to have at least one Tideseeker built now. Definitely.
Don't you see this as the end of subs though?
No, because if you're driving your subs, then you're just going to drive over and connect. That's no problem at all. It's just when you're sitting with subs out on the sea doing nothing, then you're bound to get them a hit.
Well, but my thought is everybody that's got one now will be putting the Harlock's Tideseeker out as guard. What's going to kill it?
It's not the strongest.
Anything?
Yeah, it's not the strongest ship in the world. Don't forget,
No,
it's concussive, but there's plenty of other things that can take it out.
Oh yeah.
What it's going to do is and what it's going to do is take the ability for 4 or 5 people to be sitting dormant with subs base, and you come back out of the base and you're snipe. You take one friend with you, he can at least tell you where they are, and those people have, just like you do, they can't have a base fleet sitting at your base while their subs are sitting there dormant somewhere else until they have to holler for you. It's going to make teamwork come back into the game.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I'm still using everybody knows about it. I use a blag up front, and then I use a retribution inside, and then something else to do the killing sort of stuff. And retribution's still excellent for knocking out subs. So, even if I'm going to use the Tide at the front now, it makes it too blatantly obvious. But the thought plan about having the Tideseeker that can only see as far as obviously what was on your screen, that's not the case, because I know somebody sat. It was in our chat actually on the main page that somebody went to one end of the world and then somebody was at the other end of the world with his subs, and the guy could see it. He posted his cords and he zoomed right across the other end of the world. And he could still see his subs. So it's open. It's infinite.
Yeah, they did tell us that. I mean, the thing that people have to remember also is that just because you have the ship on the map does not mean you see everything. You have to actually have that fleet selected, and that's the only fleet to be able to engage a Phantom fleet. You can't have it on the map and then select it with something else. That's not how it works. So it's not a death knell to subs. It's just hey, you're not invincible anymore.
I think it's quite good because I mean, if you're doing a base hit and somebody's out there and ready to snipe you, they'll be dancing around like they used to in the old days, dancing around, jumping left or right, and that sort of stuff. But someone's got that whole selected and just go, mind out, mate. There's a sub outside. Come out hot, or do whatever you need to do, sort of stuff. But don't just sit by the base and lag because I just think it brings a bit more. In some respects, it brings a bit more gameplay back in and a bit more teamwork. I quite like it.
For a couple of weeks, actually, when my alliance was going out and hitting bases, for my Tigers, I run a Navar bleed just for map speed, and I also use it as bait because it'll say it's a Conqueror fleet. Everyone thinks it's a backup baser, and they'll sit there and hit it with subs all day long, and I'll take 4 or 5 sub fleets out before they bring the crawler in. I think I made Brian smile a little last night from the crib, but I'm building a 76, 78 map speed seeker fleet with all missiles. Yeah, with combat speed.
And then obviously you can put a crew on that as well, and then you're up in the hundreds, aren't you? Nothing's going to lose.
Well, it's not that. I'm going to be able to kite Hellwraiths all the way to the edge of the map, and they're not going to be able to touch me.
Or you
hope. I've got a retribution that does 81. That's before crews or anything else.
Wow.
It's just set up to kill them. Which brings to mind a question that I've had because I haven't checked it. Whenever you put Reaver Scout Engine on there, that does not affect the thermal range, does it?
No.
You still get full
just the weapon range. That's all.
So what I'm doing is I'm running that with 2 Tide Seekers at the moment, and just playing with sub fleets.
Yeah. I've got one with I've seen people put that. They put the obviously the Reaver Scout engine on it because all they want it to do is to get there faster. Then just use some I've even seen it with obviously rhinos in behind and that sort of stuff. So long as it gets to do its it's retargeting. That's all that matters. It definitely works.
It makes it part of the game, that's for sure.
Yeah. So
nice twist.
So splitting the prize pack down, we mentioned about it on Tuesday's show. What do we think about the tier system this time and the prizes left to right? I mean, obviously, the subs coming in this time as well. Maybe it's not the ultimate thing to go for if you haven't got it already by now. But the fact that obviously there's another tempting ship that's in the unlocked store as well. So you've got a bit of a decision. If you're not much of a base player and you really don't care about your base, at least it's something that's to go to. I think it's nice to have a separate option. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I actually think they could bring back a lot of like really old limited flagships like the Dante's Nova Storm or things like that. Just things that are really old. Just have one of those in the unlocked store as a nice little, hey, I don't care about this Conqueror hole or whatever, and I can spend my 20 million down there.
Yeah, that would work. There's a few holes actually. I must admit that they're quite. Particularly, I think the Guardian range. To be honest, is it in the Guardian range? No, hang on a minute. I'm just trying to think what. There's a couple of them in the base defense. In fact, the Defender range, isn't it? The Guardian itself. If that could only get retargeting, that would make a really good hole for.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I missed that hole.
Because it had some great stats, but obviously now it just doesn't hit the mark. But if they could get to retargeting, just like Citadels do, you could put that in the back of your base, and that thing had a crazy reload.
I think it does actually have remote targeting, if I remember correctly.
I don't
Once
think
you
it does.
retro it out.
Does it?
Does it? I don't remember seeing that.
Mine's been sat locked away in my my cabinet now since a year, I reckon. So I don't know. I'll have to have a look at the retro stats of that one there. Brian, you can do that sort of stuff, mate. I know you're faster than me on looking at that sort of thing. That'd be interesting to see.
Do what now? I was in like 3 chats. What?
All right, mate. So I'll do it. It's okay. I'm just going to jump back in the game and see if the Guardian at if you can get it to R5, whether it's got retargeting or not.
It goes up to R10, if I remember right.
I don't.
Yeah, it goes up there.
I'll look.
I spent all that uranium getting it up there, and then it was like worthless a month later.
Yeah,
no retargeting now.
But it'd be nice to make that as nearly as powerful as the Harlock Citadel sort of stuff. Not necessarily as powerful.
Are there enough spare defender holes that they could put them in a foundry?
It'd be interesting. Just put that
that
particular
would be
hole.
nice.
I mean, it's a nice niche hole. It's designated and always designed to do that defending role. It's in the defender slot anyway in the game. And if you could just get a bit of retargeting, that those that have got it and still haven't got Citadels, or the Harlock Citadel particularly, it's a nice little hole that they could put back in and into the game again. And it wouldn't take much to do, I don't think.
No remote
I've tried to
targeting,
build
but
the
that
thing
is a
for
lot of
time.
splash.
Oh, it's got crazy reload speed's great. It does, some really good reload. The more reload and the splash on it is nuts. It really is.
Oh, it's amazing, yeah.
And we wouldn't need to have it because everyone's going, oh, I'd like a second Harlock Citadel. Well, you wouldn't need one because you could put that in your base instead. And there's probably quite a few people who've got that maybe still don't have the Harlock Citadel. Anyway, that's a
I'll
sort
tell
of
you one
sideline.
thing I've heard repeatedly is people wanting to see the Vanquisher back.
Yes.
I think we'll see that next month. I'm fairly
Whole story, yeah.
Yeah. Especially
Yeah, I mean, there'll probably be a once.
Is that one of the Conqueror halls?
There'll probably be a wish list.
Oh, is it one of the
Defender.
Defenders? Okay.
It's a Defender. We should see that next
It's the name. It's the name that gets me. You'd think Vanquisher would be a Conqueror hull. You know.
It sounds like an offensive name, yeah. But I mean, look, we just got this one this month, and it's a fairly good Defender hull. So I'm guessing that there's a very good chance that we'll see the Vanquisher next month. I don't think we'll see this one next month. So if you can get it now, if you want it, but next month I think you'll see the Vanquisher. That's my guess.
But just remember, this doesn't have thermal. Just remember that.
Yeah,
don't fill your base with 5 of these because obviously you're going to make yourself look proper like a donkey if you do that.
Yes, because then those Ghost Crawler guys will love you.
Like me.
So wait, George, I can't poke fun of that one guy anymore?
No, stop.
Yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? So go back to the price. So what do we have? We had on the right hand flank. We were having Punisher was there, wasn't it? It was one of the prizes as well. In fact, there was more hulls. That was it because there was Punisher was in there as well, and obviously the right tools to go with that. There was obviously the Styx Torp was in there as well, which is quite nice to see. I think what else is in there now?
No, I have to disagree.
It's not.
6 million.
Oh, it's too
6 million
much.
points for that thing.
No, it's nice to see
compared
the
to
Torp in there. I'm not saying of the price. The price is a different issue altogether. I mean, the price is.
Oh, you're saying that it looks pretty. Okay, I'm sorry.
I just think it's nice to see it as a price.
I like
store.
I
it
like
would
the
be nice if
torpedo.
the
but not here.
targets had stayed vulnerable to corrosive damage.
That exactly that.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think you're right there. It's nice to see it as an unlocked price. That's my point. Is because it's always been in the lock store, and I don't think we need it to have it in the lock store to be honest. Not anymore. Because in all honesty, in the rate. Yeah, exactly. Because the I mean, to be honest, I think the Styx had its day. Apart from the fact it's great for helping, obviously, Ghost Crawlers to turn.
Yeah. Which I don't know how much we're going to see those on the map anymore.
Not as much as before. I just want to have it sitting on the map anymore. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it on the map. I had a lot of fun on Thursday. It was a blast.
Laredo never answered me. Who between you two, who actually won?
Laredo won, I think. I think he got. Oh yeah, he crushed me.
That's hilarious.
So
what's just taking out subfleets?
You mean bastards?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
they were doing a little contest about who could sink more
most subs. Well, hey, what did I say last Tuesday? I said, look, from Thursday night at 1 hour past the raid's first start time, you need to be putting your subs away.
Yep, you absolutely did, and you were right, especially in their worlds.
Yeah, I
actually,
said
I think it was about 34 minutes into the raid. I was sinking subfleets.
Yeah, we got a bit.
I grabbed that hole as soon as I could.
Filthy coiner. Damn.
Oh, it was awesome. It was so glorious.
I am so envious of you guys.
I popped that out. Honestly, I popped that out and I clicked over to the sector that hit me like an hour before raid, and all I saw was subs. And
amazing!
I was like,
how great!
It was so much fun. Yeah, so I went and sunk subs all for like 2 hours.
Oh, it was amazing fun.
So and then they started bringing them all in.
I was gonna say, I can imagine all of a sudden it started like a bunch of running fleas.
Yeah, it was funny. It was fun for me. It wasn't so much fun for them. I got accused of being a hacker probably about 10 times.
I saw that on the page as well. Somebody said, "Oh, there's a glitch going on." And the other thing as well, I saw someone saying it was a glitch because someone wasn't taking any damage in a 105 when he was actually it had been spotted because I saw the rings. But there's a glitch in the game where you can't see the opposing person's damage at the moment. The damage bar wasn't working. So.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, there was a note.
Because I got accused of being a hacker when someone was watching me do a 105, and I was like,
so because obviously you're viewing and you're still viewing as your damage, and then their damage isn't showing up properly as well, so it's not showing the person's damage at the moment.
Look at that.
So which is why it looked like they were not taking any damage.
Okay, so you guys have mentioned hacker for the last couple of seconds. Is there a hack out now, or basically is hacking done except for maybe the bases?
Well, that's a good question, but I mean,
the only ones I've heard of that are actually not being caught quickly are the ones the base hacks. That's the ones that I've heard of.
Now, I haven't heard of anybody doing anything with the fleets, but it's amazing you still get called hacker just because you beat someone.
I did hear
that's
about
just
one.
the role of game. That's just the role of players in a game, isn't it? I mean, you are a hacker if you win. You're a noob if you lose.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what game you're in. You know, it's been around as long as like Counter-Strike has.
Good old EverQuest.
That was what was it? They were able to use what's that thing where it strips the layers away from the game? And they were able to see the phantoms underneath the water, pretty much.
Yeah, that's a bit like the auto, but that's not a hacking, is it? I mean, that's a.
I think that's just a bunch of ad block filters.
Yeah,
I think
that's what it was.
But do you know what? By bringing out that new Tide Seeker, that's great. Who needs whoever paid for that hack, although they don't need it anymore, or everybody's been using that addition to the ad blocker thing to be able to see subs, because some people have been using it. I know that there's no point anymore. You don't need it. You know.
I don't think you could actually engage either. You could just see them.
You could just see them. Yeah, but that's handy as well, because obviously you could see if a sub was coming in close, and you could warn your pals and that stuff. Yeah.
I actually have a question though. For Laredo and Specs, did you guys find Emery? I'm just a little curious.
Emery's been a good boy.
You guys didn't find me yet.
Emery's been very quiet at the moment.
Yes, Paul, you're right, mate.
I think Laredo's in his world though, but I'm not.
Laredo, you're slacking, man. Come on.
Anyway, we are missing one target on the map at this particular moment in time.
What's that, mate?
Hey, Emery, what's your base coords?
Where's my titanium targets?
You're not getting them, mate. Not during the raid.
Yeah,
Why
not during
not?
the raid.
Why not?
Because they're not in the raid cycle. I told you, it says that.
Yeah, no,
There's no sector threat.
That's my own complaint.
Well, unlucky, mate. All right, the only person complaining.
Emery, do you need titanium or no?
I'm good, thank you.
What about rum? Oh, cheers, mate. Thanks for backing me up.
I can imagine, but people probably.
Can I mention the word?
No, you can't mention the word beginning with H. I'll block you otherwise. However, I can imagine by this time of day, although they're back up now already, obviously, but many poor people are probably wanting uranium more than people that are wanting titanium.
We got uranium targets on that.
Only if you can hit them.
No, give me titanium. They need to put something out there like the.
Oh, get on, come on.
The Man of War for titanium.
Yeah, they do.
I think we can survive. Because look, here's the thing,
We're
guys.
not going to even mention it.
That's an
George,
end
George,
game.
we're not
That's an
mentioning it.
end game. You know what, Paul? I can actually mute you like this. So it's an end game. It's an end game thing. So we can survive a couple of days without some titanium. I mean, it ain't that big of a deal, guys.
So what you can do instead of obsessing over what to build on your mega hole, this, that, whatever. And I know it's going to sound weird coming from me.
Roll cruise.
Beg pardon?
I said roll cruise.
No. I was actually going to go with go outside and see the sun, have a nice bite out to eat,
Yeah.
Says from the man that is
interact
lily
with other
pink.
humans.
Son, what's that?
It says the man that is lily pink. He's got
Exactly.
no sun on his skin at all.
Exactly. That's why I said it's going to sound weird, but you can do it.
Reach over and open a window. Prove you have a window in your room.
The big yellow thing.
I got to turn this thing around first.
I've got a funny feeling. To be honest, if Brian turns down his bandwidth any lower, I think it'll just be pixelated like it is in Minecraft or something.
I would be 8-bit. Yes, it would be great.
Awesome.
I was wondering why you were so pixelated.
Well, it's a bandwidth issue, isn't it? It's hard from the cellar.
We got to get him a Mario hat to put on.
Mario hat?
Yep.
Yeah.
So has anyone noticed with the Man of Wars they're actually hitting harder this time?
No, I've not actually hit one. I stacked up with plenty of uranium, and I've not really got a great deal to retrofit anymore. So I haven't personally had to do one.
I was trying to roll a few more demo crews, and I noticed I'm running a couple Vendettas and Novas behind it, and I lost like almost 60 or 70% of that Vanquisher before it all died.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's not good, because it was about a quarter to a half last time, if I remember rightly.
I remember when we were able to do them for like under 16 minutes a piece.
Hang on a minute, I'll just go and check that for you.
Yeah, go and check, Paul.
I did two earlier, and I still had.
If we go on out, I'll go and check it for you. I'll go and do a live check right now. Launching.
I mean, it may be different with missiles, but I know with mortars, I was getting my ass kicked.
Yeah, because I just used a Vank and then four. Well, I don't even use them, but I was using a Vank and 4 runners as a test, and that was about 15 minutes damage.
They look a little bit. They look like the speed had maybe picked up a little bit. I know that because I actually did use missiles, and I was getting more things in my area to shoot quicker than last time. But if it is, it's not significantly. It's not like a huge amount of addition to it.
Okay, so while we've flipped to the last bit, then has anybody else got any other things that they want to? I'm not saying rant because I don't do ranting, but any other comments that they think that things aren't so good compared to last month, or is there anything that's not so good compared to last month?
Yeah, it's a little colder outside this month.
Fresh.
And we lose the light a lot earlier too.
Yeah, I mean, that's annoying.
I mean, I don't know why y'all are complaining. I'm okay with this, but
you don't do sunlight.
Yeah,
no windows.
I think you're the pirate vampire. I think that's what you are.
I don't think they're doors. I just think that's something he's painted on his wall to make it look like he's got a door on that room, and he's not got one at all.
The secret door that people hand me food in?
It's Takeshi's castle. You've got to jump through one of those doors one day.
Well, there was the Blitz feature introduced, and I feel it deserves a little bit of mention.
Good point.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the Blitz is about 600,000 points for a full kill. I don't know if it's exactly 600 or whatever, but 600,000 points, and I have in my notes 600,000 points Blitz for 5 coin minimum.
Well, I did the stream, and I did Blitz. The first thing I did, I jumped out and I did a Blitz. So I managed to get the Blitz down to, I couldn't get it down below 5 coins, I must admit. And I tried a couple of different ways and that sort of stuff. So the Blitz itself is 3 coin, and then I couldn't get it under half an hour damage. So 5 coin was the cheapest I could get it down to.
Because it's the minimum, right?
That's the minimum.
I think it's the minimum. I was trying to get it so my damage was below a half an hour, just so I could see if 5 was the minimum, or whether it was just the fact that I couldn't get it down. It was 3 or 4 plus the thing. But I guess it's 5, and I think 5. Well, we all know, as we did the maths, obviously in Tuesday's show, 5 coins for that many points is just too much, because then obviously that's 10 coins for 1.2 million. Then obviously you multiply that again. That's quite an expensive way of going ahead, unless obviously you've got real trouble with some of your targets and you're taking a great deal of damage. You might find it's a bit more ergonomic that way, but I don't think that's the case. I think that's slightly too expensive. I think I'd like to see it as 3. I think a lot more people would probably utilised it. Kixie will know the stats. I mean, they'll know who's utilising it, who's not.
Yeah, they'll know. I mean, the thing is it's great for someone that really is has no time this weekend or something, right? But the problem is we're used to a certain cost, and for 600K, I would think that too, because that's almost doubling what our price point shot as would have been utilized by a lot of people, whereas this one is probably going to be just utilized by either people that couldn't do the raid or had some serious time constraints,
or running out of time come the end.
Well, it's a pure time hack is all it is. I mean,
it's a time hack. It's a time hack. But I mean, the thing is I think had they set it up so it would be something like 2 or 3, a lot of people would have done it just to make it a lot easier on them for the raid. And hell, they might have turned around and coined the Tide Seeker and pulled a Specs on Laredo and went hunting.
Sure. I wish they would offer it on the 105s.
That's the one I'd like it.
The guys that can do the 105s can do them for basically free if they're very careful. So anything they make above and beyond that would be a gold mine for them.
I've got a funny thing it'd be 20 coins or something like that. I really do.
I'm sure it would be. It would not be affordable. That's what I'm saying. If make it affordable, it would be better.
the thing is,
I'll tell you what. If they had those targets at like 2 or 3, if the 105s at 2 or 3, and I hit a perfect run, so it would cost me 0, but I had the option to do 2 or 3 because I hit that, and maybe limit it to like maybe 5. I would have coined 5 of them at 2.
Oh,
10
absolutely.
coins and had 5 of them. I mean, that's an easy way to make some money.
Yeah, but be realistic as well. Even if they charged you the 5 for the 105, in some instances, if you go in and just sneeze and get your fleet killed, it's 11 coins to repair. So
Yeah,
you would still be making money.
But see, I slow repair them, so it's not really the thing that I'm thinking is if you do like a perfect run, one of the things that you get as a reward, quote unquote, is and limit it, 2 or 3 coins, and you can only do it like 5 times, blitz it 5 times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And put a limit on how many times you can blitz it. That way you have to repeat the performance. I mean, there's a lot of ways that they could use this to make money that isn't really quote unquote a coin grab. You know what I mean?
Oh, I agree.
Because
I think that's what they should do.
Yeah, the blitz thing is a fantastic implementation because
Yeah.
you can't complain about it. You don't have to use it.
I
No,
just
Brian,
don't
the
think
son of a bitch.
I think now we're getting some different target formations for the blitzing. I think there's no, unless it's a coding issue, I don't see where we can't run it out across a few different targets now and give people more options.
Well, I think they should, but I also think they should lower it back down on the FM. I think it needs to go back to 3 or 5. The 10 is stupid.
Well, only they know the stats of the uptake. It's the uptake that they're interested in. It's not the number. That's the same as anything. That's like you've got the sole producer of X, Y, and Z. Was it in the States? Is it the EpiPen or something like that that's gone up like 20-fold in the last 2 years?
Yeah.
I'm not going to get political, but it's a supply and demand issue, isn't it?
God, I think it was like
that one isn't. That one for sure is not a supply and demand.
But it's a greed issue, isn't it? Okay, I'm not going to mention the word greedy and that sort of stuff, but ultimately, it is about numbers.
Yes.
It's about.
Yeah, but who's to say?
But
for all of us on the panel here. Go ahead, George.
I was just going to say, I can almost guarantee you. He's one of us has lag, I think.
Right, George first.
I was just going to say that I think that if you actually got the numbers from Kicksai, I can almost bet you money they made more money when it was at 3 than at 10.
I agree.
There was so many people that were excited to be able to just get it done and forget about it.
But let's be honest, okay? Then they're going to turn it up and see if those people are still excited. And then they're going to pause a little while and then potentially turn it back down again to where it hits where the ratio of people that are going to continue using it just fits right. Nice. So 10's too many, may go down to 5, or it may never go back to 3. But then again, it's a bit like come and get this it's a bit like saying, right, come and pay for my broadband, and you get the first 3 months for half price. And you go, this is a good deal. Look, I'm getting broadband for like $9.99, that sort of stuff. And then after 3 months, it goes up to $20.99. And then 99% of people are too lazy. They continue paying the $20.99
to do right.
To do the exact same thing.
I mean, it's a good analogy. I don't know if it's spot on. I think the other aspect of this is also that Kicksai has several black eyes at this point with the community. I mean, really, if you roll something out that people like and are on a positive note on it, man, push the positive thing. They gotta hire some PR people to teach them that one aspect, because there's so many ideas they come up with that are fantastic, and they start implementing it and then they kind of tweak it. And I know that they're trying to do other things than what we see, but the way the community reacts, especially this community, I mean, let's be honest, this community is a little bit touchy. The way the community reacts is usually makes it seem worse than it is, or you know what I mean? So
they should take the lesson from the retail environment. It's always easier to lower a price than it is to raise a price.
Yeah, like if they started it at 10 and
people
6.
complain about that too.
But the only thing I can say with that is, to be honest, if it starts at 10 and it always goes down, then people are always going to know, well, I'm not going to do it just yet because it's going to get cheaper.
Well, JCPenney's had a long-standing thing where they'd mark everything down on sale, but they were always on sale.
Yeah.
So they knew it was crap, and then they were like, "Hey, let's stop marking these fake sales, and just it's the same price, exactly the same price. They didn't change anything. They just stopped marking everything down on sale, and their sales plummeted because people thought they were getting a good deal on something, so they decided to buy something they thought they were getting a good deal on rather than just buying it at the normal price, even though it was the same thing. They like
Yeah,
to
but
feel
it's kind of like early adopters. Your early adopters or the coiners that we are always going to pay a higher price than what the average Joe will. So, like I say, start off where you're going to get your coiners doing something, and then come down.
I mean, that's a bit like me. I mean, I spent
Well,
more.
I don't coin.
You know, I spent more coin in that hour stream that I did on Thursday evening for the community than I have for the whole of the raid.
I was going to say you probably spent more in that video than I've spent in the last probably 6 months.
So that cost me, I think, 30. I think it was something like that.
Okay, wait, $30 or 30 coins?
Coin. I think it was about that. I didn't look, and because I just had a bit there. But I've only had a bit left over, and I've still got the same bit left over because I'm a cautious sub driver. And if I do make a mistake, I'll just let it fix, and then I'll put it in a separate slot, and then go back and take the other ones out and let that fix. And by the time I've done a couple more targets, I'll go and pick it back up again.
Anyway, the last mow I did for uranium was 25 minutes rep.
25 was that, Paul? Is that the one you just done now, mate?
Yeah, I did it earlier, but you was all engaged in conversation.
Sorry, mate. Yeah. So
No,
25.
25 minutes. Vanquisher, 4 rhinos.
So that has gone up then, isn't it? Seems to have. Anyway.
Well, that's what I was picking up last time. So
is that with the Vanquisher at the front? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was getting about 16 minutes. I think it was, to be honest.
Yeah, my Vanquisher's not fully up and whatever, but
okay.
Well, I'll
25 minutes. It's about the same, Mark. To be honest.
Okay, mate.
From my perspective.
So you're finding it the same as before. All right, that's funny then.
Yeah. And that was
so quick question for you.
Okay, so what I want to have a look at then is a think forward then. Okay, and so let's say raid's over, that sort of stuff. We're on to next Tuesday. What would you like to see coming next week? And do you think, obviously, VXP is going to be coming next weekend as well. So what would you like to see maybe next week before the VXP or maybe the week after as a preview? What sort of things would you like looking for?
Titanium targets.
Yeah,
I hope
VXP. I mean, I'm wanting the VXP to come out. I actually would love to see them come out and let us know something about what the plan is for the December to January transition.
Amen.
Hey George, can I meet you back or not?
Can you what?
Meet you back because you muted me just now. Can I meet you back?
No.
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 You probably could, to be honest. I could unmute you anyway. It's too late.
I would like to know something about the transition because I mean, honestly, look, if I want to get ready for January and have essentially subpar fleets compared to the new hull that's coming for the siege targets, I would like to have some, leeway to start building it because, I don't want to try and build a fleet last minute when we find out that we do or we don't have the new hull in December.
Conspiracy theories.
Just some information would be nice. I know we lost the whip. I know too many people whined their ass off when we lost it. But someone leak out some information somewhere. It would be nice.
Yeah, it would be nice.
At least tell us
the
damage types.
For whatever the next target is going to be, next raid is going to be like, and the next cycle.
So I'll tell you what. One thing that's in the chat there, that's 5 people now have said it, is they could do with a TLC that whatever the target is, hey, hint at what's maybe coming in the next raid set because we've got Punishers there and we can, it might be terrible, but at least we can play with it and put out some of the limited prizes, like hydraulic resistors, that sort of stuff, and agility 4 and that, and the things that are quite handy. I'm not saying the scatter guns, even the scatter guns, in fact, for the Tigers are quite handy because it's the only one that works on a Tiger while it's submerged. And obviously the Tigers are doing very well against the Hyperiums and that sort of stuff at the moment.
Yeah, scatter guns would be nice. That's
so
true.
Some of those. So yeah, you're right, guys. And Groundhog mentioned it there first. So a TLC with some of the limited components in it would be quite handy, I think, to be honest.
So, quick question for you guys before I leave for work. I don't know if all of you saw it, but the first, say, like hour or two of the raid with the blitz targets where we saw people getting 60 to 70 million pretty much within the first. Do you guys think the blitz targets do you think they might keep it at the same price because they had that many people actually using them?
I would say so.
If they make enough, yeah.
Because from what I saw, I logged in through like Puffin, of course, and was looking at the scoreboard, and it seemed like
what?
Seemed like everyone was using them.
And I mean, they probably have data on what they normally get from the players that blitz this raid. They probably know about what they get from them last raid and can compare them this month versus last month, and they'll make the mathematically correct decision. Hopefully, kicks math, but
to drop it by half.
I mean, that's what we want.
What happens, I guess.
Okay. Right. I think we'll call it a night there. To be honest, that's the hour.
It is.
That's a good spread of stuff. Unless anybody wants to stay on behind in the after show, then feel free, and we'll continue some of the bits and bobs. So one thing I just want to say before we disappear, for those in the UK and the former, and still some are in the Commonwealth countries, tomorrow is our Armistice Day, Remembrance Sunday, and I'll say for all those that are going out to remember those fallen comrades, please ensure that the weather's nice if possible. Have a great remembrance. I hope it all goes well, and we'll all be thinking of lost comrades that have happened in any campaign, on any side, because that's what it's about. It's not necessarily against your side, it's against all fallen comrades. Okay, so have a good remembrance tomorrow, and for us it's obviously at 11 o'clock, and I'm just about to watch a show about it right now. So take care all, and I'll speak to you on Tuesday evening with the rest of the team, and we'll look forward to obviously what's coming up in next week's release. Good night.
Indeed we will.
Good night, guys. Thanks for coming by.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Take care. Good night.
Hello.